because otherwise it'd be a terrible thing if we didn't go and if we didn't record this. We're almost at the 5 minutes, the traditional 5 minutes of waiting. And then we can get a start with this. In the meantime, are there any other questions? Questions are always welcomed. Please remember, the only, as I say, the only stupid question out there is the unasked question. Right there. If you have a question, please ask it. I can guarantee you, you're not the only person who probably has that question. Even if you think it's the world's stupidest question, please ask it. The only thing I will say is try and keep it to the topics on hand. If you ask me what's the meaning of life, the universe, and everything, I will probably go and refer you to. I'll probably refer you to the works of Douglas Adams. And it's 42, by the way. But besides from that, and establishing my nerd cred, we're going to go and I will try and answer as many questions on iVend as I can. If you're looking for anything else, well, then we'll see what the story is. Okay, and we've definitely waited the 5 minutes, and the attendees are still trickling in. Okay, apparently you guys have gotten wise to my 5 minutes now, and I'll go and just waiting longer. But that's fine, because guys, we are actually today we are okay, and I do have a question. Oh, thank you, Jean, for a nice one. Please, Keith, can we define the turnover rate of the items in stock? Okay, so Jean, this is one that comes up in our reports. I think this is your ABC report that you'll be looking at. So you'll actually be able to go see that. What I'm going to do now, today guys, we are looking at, we've got two things to look at. One of them is loyalty, and the other one, if I can get it working, is the iVend handheld that should be working on the simulator. If that's up and running, we can go and log in, and I will see what the story is, and we can try to go and get a start there. Now, okay, let's see if this actually works. Okay, all right, nope, so we'll do the mobile emulator tomorrow. Where exactly from Vanessa, where do we find the recorded videos on the portal? This is something I'm trying to actually get out of them at the moment. They say that they are up there. I have sent off a mail to them. I expect that they will be put on the community page of the portal, or they should be on the home page, and you should be able to access them there. Yeah, or hang on, they might give me just one little second to just have a quick check. We might have access to them over here. Otherwise, just type in the webinars search and you might see them over there. So webinars, let's see if they pop up here. From Vanessa, okay, right there. Just demo, I remember you mentioned. Okay, all right, Vanessa, we can sort that out later. Okay, all right. I don't think that they have that up and running quite yet. Okay, but let's move on. We can go, and I will try, once again, I will get the link. Until then, you can still go across. Please remember, guys, here, let me just show my screen. Please remember, you do have the videos over here, recommended videos for iVend implementation consultants. This doesn't follow the exact script I've been doing. If you do want the script, I can give that to you now, of more or less what we're going through. I must admit, I haven't followed it exactly either. You'll see I have deviated from it a bit. But at the same time, these videos, these are still valid videos. Like I said before, on, I think it was last week, Monday, when we reviewed some of these, if you go and you have a look at this, you will actually go and you will hear me in a couple of them. You will go see that there are some over here like authorized.net setup, PayPal setup, Monaris setup, global payment setup. Guys, where it says things like Canada, or if it looks like it's very specific for a region, you will not be tested on that. Let me repeat that again. If you see a video over here that says like Monaris setup, this one, this Monaris setup is not relevant to South Africa. It's not relevant worldwide. It's strictly for Canada, and because of that, it's not. It is not something you will be tested on. Same thing with PayPal setup. Yet we have it. It's there. You'll not be tested on it. It's right. you can safely ignore that one. All right, but today we're going to dive into the wonderful world of loyalty. Yes. So for this one, I have actually reloaded my system so that it's got loyalty up and running already. The first thing I do want to go point out is that there are a few things that you do need to know about loyalty. So let me just go across to my, you see once again I've reloaded it. I'm now going to go and select Edward. In this case, let's go select Edward. There we go, we selected Edward. And there are things to know about, things that we can have a look at. Let's go have a look at the customer view. Once you've gone and you've activated the customer view over here, and you've activated loyalty, you will see that it starts going and picking up loyalty information. Okay, and this is an additional section that's been picked up. There it will say loyalty program, which loyalty program they're part of, and we're going to start getting into things like referral IDs and first names, and you can have a look at things like the loyalty points details, so where they all come from. And yes, you can do an Excel import for loyalty, so that is all available over here. So there's a lot of stuff to go through. And by the way, the system I've reloaded as is the demo stack. You load it up as the demo stack. This is the demo stack. This is the one that we're working with. And as well, I'll also show you one or two other things that the demo stack loads up with, which are very, very, very cool. But the important thing is that you have to remember is that you can also add customers from the point of sale over here, and when you add them, this also gives you a chance to go set the loyalty program as well as also referral IDs and first names, last names, and all the other wonderful things that come with it. But before I go on, that's you guys know about the front end, you know how it works over here. If you don't, we've got videos on that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come across here and I'm going to come across to the loyalty program itself. Now the loyalty program itself, please realize something about this. It is actually available as a separate module. Yes, that's right. You heard it here, folks. You can actually load the entire loyalty program, right, as a separate program from iVend. It can actually be run and integrated to any other program that you want. Through our APIs, that's available. So if people don't actually use the iVend point of sale or the iVend management console or anything else, you can just have the loyalty program and they can just run that. We can do that. That's not a problem. But with that, let's go and actually see what it takes to actually set this up. Now, the first thing, please remember, is if you want loyalty, administration, system initialization, enterprise, we go and we scroll down, and over here, you'll see there is a little checkbox, big decision, loyalty, yes or no. So tick that, it activates. Once it's activated, it will probably ask you to restart your system. It is a one-time shot, guys. It's not a case of, oh, no, I want to go deactivate it. Once it's active, it's active. That's also something to consider. Please remember our base license, actually, if I come over here and we go to license information. All right, our base license over here does actually come with a base, I think, of about 2,000 loyalty cards. As a base, so you get 2,000 free loyalty cards with your setup. After that, loyalty is a subscription license, and I think they come in packs of 10,000, 100,000, and 1 million cards that are loyalty based over there. Speak to your sales guy, and he can speak to my sales guy, and your people, my people, talking. They can figure out the rest of that, but. Anyway, that's what they do. That's where you go and you load it. This is where you load it up. It gets loaded up as part of the license, and that's something that's very important that you do need to know about. But once you've done that, you can then come across here to operations. We can then go to loyalty, and we can go set up our loyalty program. Now, this is very important. In iVend, you get multiple loyalty. You can have multiple loyalty programs. Under each loyalty program, you can have multiple loyalty plans. And from there you can really go to town. In fact, some of the stuff that we built on yesterday, the days, particularly the bonus buys stuff and the coupons, you are going to see really, 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 really come to fruition in here. But And please remember, guys, I don't mind asking, guys, I don't mind if you ask questions about yesterday's stuff. And yes, Eric in particular, I know you did ask about this, that if you did miss yesterday and there is something that you say, hey, I don't understand, I don't mind, ask me. I'm sure everyone can use a refresher. Everyone can always use a refresher. This is the one thing I have learned, even me. It's part of the reason I love running these programs, because every now and again I run across a setting and go, hey, I remember we were looking for that. So yeah, it does, believe it or not, these things do help me as well. Next up, over here, loyalty programs. So now each, so you can have multiple loyalty programs in the system. Now this is intentionally by design. The first thing to note about each loyalty program is that a loyalty program will be connected across to a currency. So also you may have different loyalty programs for different subsidiaries. So, and there's a very good reason for this. Is, for instance, if I'm operating in, let's go, 4 countries, South Africa, Namibia, well, Namibia is not really a good one. We've got a common currency. So South Africa, Kenya, and Nigeria. Right, I've got stores in all 3 places. The problem is that each place has got different currencies, which means different exchange rates, which means wonderful things all worldwide, particularly if somebody goes and takes their points from Nigeria, comes to Kenya, tries to spend them, we get issues then. Instead, what I do is I've got a loyalty system I'll have a loyalty system for Nigeria, I'll have a loyalty system for Kenya, and a loyalty system for South Africa. Now, that means that they're all separate. The points are going to be worth slightly different things in each place, but that's fine, because that's the way most loyalty systems work. I've yet to see a loyalty system. There is one I know of. Having said that, it's a multi-billion-dollar enterprise, so there is that. It's a multi-billion-dollar enterprise. I think it's called Carlson or something like that, the gold cards. These guys basically own the Radisson hotel chain, and but even so, they only operate across America and Canada. So that's the only one I know that's truly international. But beyond that, that's most loyalty programs I know are limited to the local country. Next up, over here is the register. Okay, so one of the first settings you're going to get over here is the registration method. And once again, Control F1, let's have a look at this. And yes, I do bring this up to actually demonstrate that the help is actually helpful. Now, the registration method is particularly important for you guys. You do need to know what you're talking about over here. This is where you can go and set exactly how people are registered in the system. And there's some quite big differences that you do need to know about. First off, customer code. Now, if you're linked, this is how my system is set up. So we're going to see how this works, but I'm also running in standalone mode, so there are some things to consider about this. Well, as this means that for every debtor, you get, it will be assigned a loyalty customer as well. So your debtors are loyalty customers, full stop. Next one up is your loyalty card. This over here is separate. So it means that your loyalty cards are not actually assigned to a debtor or a customer in the system. It means that you actually get this, you can actually have them separated into 2 different, you can actually go and have just your loyalty customers in iVend, and then they can actually do their purchasing. When they do their purchasing, that actually goes through to your ERP, it will just come across as a cash customer. They are not actually associated with each other. So that does actually go help. That does actually go help and set things up, because not every business wants to go and have a loyalty customer as a customer in the ERP, particularly if you've got hundreds of these things. And remember, guys, to get into loyalty programs is typically free, which means you will actually have which means that any Tom, Dick, or Harry can actually wander in off the street, pick up a loyalty card, fill it in, send it off, get the loyalty thing back, and they may never shop with you again. So also just going and managing your debtors book size, that does help with it. Next up, loyalty card attached to a customer code. this is if you want to have both. And the entire idea about this is it will go and link it links essentially the two. It combines the two. What you might have is that you might have multiple loyalty cards attached to one customer code. So say me, the wife, we might both have loyalty cards attached to one account, but her loyalty card is different than my loyalty card, so I can keep track and make sure she's not just going and wiping out all the savings all the time. So that is something else to go and to be, that's something else to be aware of. The next thing up, once again, I'm going to refer back to the help, is the card management section. And the card management section is, once again, very important because we've got three types here. We've got auto-generated, pre-printed, and user-defined. Now, the auto-generated, the system will automatically assign a loyalty card number. Typically, if you've already set up the auto-generation of your customer codes over here in the enterprise, so not add logo, cancel, custom series, that's the one we're looking for. If you've got this already set up, or your custom series that is set up for your store, over here in retail config, store, here we go, and we go custom series, you've got your custom series over there. If you've got those already set up, then then it will go and use those as your actual, it will use those as your base for your auto-generated ones, which is fine. So it just means that your customer code and your customer code and your loyalty code are exactly the same. Pre-printed. This is if you are using pre-printed loyalty cards. Some places do this. You'll go and you'll see they'll have the loyalty brochure, and then they'll have like a bit of gum going and sticking on a plastic loyalty card. That's then when you go and when you scan it, it will automatically pick it up and activate it in the system. It depends on how you want to do it. That's up to you. Typically, yeah. So with the pre-printed ones, you do get automated. You don't need to go and then reprint out your loyalty cards. With auto-generated, you will probably get a tearaway loyalty card that you then need to go and send the guy, here's your new loyalty card, don't forget it. Or otherwise, you could just use iVend passes, in which case you will be saved much trouble and stress for that. And then finally, user-defined, somebody actually types the number into the system. Right, and this just means that the actual person at the cashier will go and type it in. So if they pick up the loyalty card, they just type it in and go and then manually assign it. Finally, one big note, because some of you will have seen that I've got my registration method as customer code. My card management is user defined. But if you will please note, if my registration method is customer code, then this entire section over here will have no impact. So you see, it is actually generally helpful. It does help. Okay, a loyalty allocation method. Right, and we are going to have a bit of a math lesson a bit later, but we'll get there and we'll see exactly how that works. So, but first thing up, loyalty allocation method. This one is quite important, guys, because this determines what level you go with. Now, just to explain levels, or as they're called in the loyalty industry, slabs. Yes, I don't know. Maybe somebody had a chocolate fixation when they went and they named it, or maybe they were doing paving or something like that. But anyway, your loyalty levels, right? Typically, you go and you see them. You only actually need to really have one level, right? They're the first level. You can only have one. If you really want to, you only really need one. However, most of these loyalty programs, they do survive on levels, and typically they go along the lines of something along bronze, silver, gold, then after that platinum or diamond. The naming gets a bit weird on exactly how they want to do it, but that is something that does go, that you do get different levels on, and you can define exactly what the levels are, how you want to go put them in, all the rest of it. But the important thing is for this is how do you determine what level people go to? Is it the total available points, so how many points they have at the moment? Is it the total awarded points? So if over their entire time they've been with you, they've spent 10,000 points, well, then it's a bronze customer. Even though for a year or two he might not actually, well, might be a diamond customer, but even though for a year or two he might not actually spend anything with you, but you know, he's still got that many points that are associated with it. And then we come to the next section that is very important, because we can award either points or currency as a loyalty reward. Now, please guys, remember, this is part of the reason that we would have different loyalty programs for different countries, because each country is going to have a conversion factor for its from points to currency. So, and this is also important because if you're awarding currency in different countries, then yeah, that the other side of it is it does mean that some people do tend to think of you as a bank, which is a bit unfortunate. Because that can also be something that government regulators also look at and go say, hey, you're operating like a bank. That means, you know, do you have a FICA license or whatever it is? So that's why points and currencies, once again, check your local legislation to make sure that you've actually got it correctly set up. Bonus points and registration or bonus currency units. So, hey, I've just signed up, have 100 points. You know. How do you award the points? Now, this is very important because you can award them either on every transaction or on a cumulative basis, and this affects how your plans are set up your loyalty plans are set up at a later date, and how exactly people do get their points. So the first one is every transaction, which is dead straightforward. I buy from you something for $100, I get points. Right? Dead straightforward. Next one. The other one is cumulative basis, which means that, hey, you've spent this much over this period of time with us, you now get this many points. Right, that's up to you as well. Duration for customer special days. Guys, this is something that we did see in the promotions and the bonus buys. Customer special days, and now this is really where customer special days come into their own, is... and please remember, customer special day, let's just go across over here to my customer view. Customer special day being date of birth and anniversary date. These are two ones that you do actually want to go and have set up over here. Once you've got them set up, you can actually then go and you can actually run promotions, and you can run loyalty associated with them. And that's where this comes in. So with this, you can go say, hey, it's your birthday. It's for this day, right? 20% off anything you buy, or get a gift card for $50. You can also set it for a week. So from Monday to Saturday, Monday to Sunday, there you go. You can get 20% off for a month, which is probably really, really generous. Maybe if you're selling jewelry or high-end stuff, you might do that. Or you can do days backwards and forwards. Does anyone know what days backwards and forwards? Does anyone not know what days backwards and forwards is? Or not remember? Okay, I do have somebody going and putting up their hand, and Willem. Okay, Dylan, Bernadine. Okay, a couple of people do not remember what this is. That's fine, guys. Please remember, like I go and I say, if you don't remember, please ask. That's why I ask these questions sometimes, because people go and forget to ask these things. So days backwards and forwards. That means that if it's my birthday today, I could go say for 1 day before and 2 days afterwards. So effectively from Monday and for up to Thursday, I can still get this special day criteria set up, which means that might be my birthday tomorrow. I walk into the store today and I can still get the 20% off any purchase I do today. So that's also very important. It means that once I've done it, I've got it, I can then move on, and I don't need to go and I don't need to be there exactly on the day, exactly at the date, exactly at the time. May well be the case I've decided, hey, it's my 40th, or hey, it's my 20th, or right, I'm showing my age here, and I'm going away for the weekend. You know, hey, I'm not going to be here this weekend. You know, thanks for your gift, but I'm not going to be there. So at least that day, the guy's got a bit of a bit of leeway to go get there. He can make a plan and go and actually come and buy stuff with you. And remember, guys, that's the important thing, because very rarely does a person walk into the door and buy just what he wants. It's normally, oh, I'll buy this. Hey, I could use this as well. You know, it all adds up. So I'm just going to set that back today. Now we hit conflict resolution basis and conflict resolution method. Okay. Now there are a couple of settings over here you do need to know about. Specifically with conflict resolution basis and your conflict resolution method. So the entire thing over here is, how do you award the points to the actual customer? And this is where these two fields come in. Now the global one means it just looks, if you have multiple plans, and please remember, this is the loyalty program. You will have a loyalty program, and under the loyalty program you will have multiple plans. So what do I mean by this? It means that, for instance, you could have, it's a special day, it's his birthday. It's also a special day as in it's the store opening. So, and then also you've got your basic loyalty plan. How do you determine between the three plans what loyalty points he gets? So with the global setting, it'll look at the first plan. Congratulations, it's your birthday. That's the loyalty points you get. With plan global, it goes and it looks at all the plans, right? And it goes and it says, okay, which one of these do you get? And then I've got the option of, out of all the plans, what do you get? Do I get the minimum? Which is, let's just face it, if that's the setting, then somebody's being really mean about it and needs to reevaluate their loyalty. Maximum, so do I get the maximum from one plan? Do I get the sum total? So do I get all the points, which could mean that I end up getting millions of points? And do I get the average of all of them? So that's also something, but this is something that you need to discuss and set with the customer. And it actually brings me up to a very important point about this is loyalty is a living, breathing system, okay? It's like e-commerce. You actually need somebody there running it, going out there saying, are you part of our loyalty program? Have you tried this? This person got loyalty for this. Have you done this? Somebody needs to chase it. I've seen people who've implemented wonderful, set up complete loyalty systems, and then they've just let it die on the vine. It's just sat there and withered away, and people have gone and said, we put in loyalty, but we didn't get anything out of it. That's because if you've got nobody driving it, you will not end up with the loyalty or what you deserve with it. At the same time, this is also part of the setup that you do need to be very careful of, particularly things like the sum total setting, because you can end up with problems with loyalty, and you do. There's another very good reason to go and actually keep an eye on loyalty, and I will tell you the story about that as soon as we finish the screen and some of the setups. It involves somebody almost winning a Harrier jump jet. So with loyalty, and yeah, the other one, there's two stories. One of them is the guy wins a Harrier tried to win a Harrier jump jet. The other one is the guy won over, I think it was $50 million worth of stuff, for which he paid about $10,000 worth of items. So it's they're good stories, but to keep you on the edge of your seats until I get to that point to go tell you the stories, let me just carry on and finish up with these. Next thing up is level management method. And this determines how you move between your levels. So how do I move from a blue to a silver level, or from bronze to silver? How do I move from silver to gold? How do I move from gold to platinum? And how do I move down from platinum to bronze? Does it happen automatically? Does it happen after a certain number of days, say 30 days or so? Is it manually? So somebody needs to come along and say, I like you, I like your name, I'm putting you on a bronze level. But this is a setting that's also, once again, very important. People need to keep an eye out for. Now, the next thing up involves math. So people bear with me as I will try to go and explain it to you, and try and explain exactly how this works, because there is a way it works very easily, and there's another way that it works with you need to go break out the math books. So the first one over here is the redemption method. The redemption method. This means that if it's current level, it means that if I'm on the platinum, level, I will then go and I will then get points. I can spend 1,000 points, and each of those points is maybe worth R1. I will get 1,000 Rand, and that's it. That's how I can spend it. The next one up, and that means that it's dead straightforward. The other setting is the fallback method. Now, there is one other screen I do need to open up to just go and explain it to you, and that is the loyalty level screen. And you see over here I've got 4 levels: bronze, gold. In fact, let me just organize it like that: bronze, silver, gold, platinum. There you go. Nice and easy. We can all go see exactly how they go and they move through the system. So on bronze, you see I've got a minimum value of 0. This is always the case. You need to have a minimum value of 0 in order to actually get started in the system. It's the way with any currency, right? You need a minimum value of 0. You can then go and it's the same with any loyalty system. You always start off on the lowest rung. Silver, gold, platinum, you can move up on each of those as you go along. Next, the next thing over here is my points conversion factor. So how many points? So in this particular case, it's 4 bronze points equals 1 point of local currency. Right. So these 4 points, so essentially it means that 1 bronze point is worth 25 cents. 1 silver point is worth 33 cents. 1 gold point is worth 50 cents, and 1 platinum point is worth R1. So, or $1. Let's go with $1. That's easy enough. So you can also start to play around with these. So you can say 4 points is equal to $2, or however you want it. That's also something you can set. Finally, over here, I've got my redemption percentage, which is how many points I can use as I go and when I'm on that level. So you'll see when I'm on my bronze level, I can only use 70% of my points, which means that technically I might need 200 points to get to silver, but if I have 100, well, let's go, if I have 200 points, I'm about to move to silver, I can only actually spend 140 of those points. So that's something to look at. Now that I've shown you this screen, I can now actually go back and explain the redemption method. Because the redemption method, and I'm just going to go and open it up again, open up the screen again so you can see it on current level. The redemption method over here, if I'm on platinum, I can spend all 400 points as 1-to-1 ratio. That's it. And I can spend 100% of them. So I can spend, I have $400 worth of points. But if I go and I set it to fallback, then what it does is it falls back through the levels. So let's go and open this up. I'm just going to go and open up another sheet, and we're going to go and please pay attention for the math, that I'll try and work it back. So let's go say I've got 495 points in total. Okay, so that means that the first my first level, and at 495 points I would be on platinum. So for the first 65 points, 65 points are platinum. Yeah, there we go. My spelling is terrible, but anyway. But that's fine, which that means that is equivalent to $65. Okay. All right, and also I can go and redeem. There we go. I can redeem 100% of them. There you go, redemption percentage. Okay, so that's fine. But then, after I've spent my first 65 points, as we can see over here, I then shift to gold, which has now got a different conversion factor, a different to local currency, and a different redemption percentage, which means that for the next 100 points, okay, at gold, will then convert to, this is now at 50%. So if I have a look over here, it's 2 points to 2 points to my to what I can spend. So I can only get back 50 USD off that. Okay, but my redemption percent is now 90%. Okay, so whereas before with the first one, I was getting $65. Over here, I'm only getting $45. Okay, and I am expecting questions after this. So after that, I go and I spend some more, and for the next 100 points, which will take me down to silver. All right. Right. I now have this is but however, at silver it's 3 points to 1 unit of currency, so 3 points to $1, which means that this is only equal to 33.33 USD. However, I can only redeem 80% of this, right? So, which, if I remember correctly, is about 27, which is about $27. Sorry guys, I am working from memory over here. I'm not going to mess around with formulas. Feel free to correct my math, on this, but I do seem to remember it's about 27.5. What makes you think I've done this before? Finally, for the final 200 points, right there, I'm on bronze, right there, which on this level, it's 4 points to 1 unit of currency. So effectively, I'm out of 200 points, but I've only got $50. Wonderful, isn't it? However, I can only redeem 70% of those, which is, if I remember correctly, is, well, actually now let's try the math over here. What was it? 50 times by that percent, around about $35. Yeah, which adds it up. So that actually means that at the end of the day, what I redeem is equals sum. Out of the 146 points that I had, they're only worth $172. Now, I think you can see the problem over here with the fallback method is that, one, math, which is, yay, I'm sure everyone wants to go spend their time going and explaining, oh, no, wait, but you've fallen back and you've done this, and now this is how it works and all the rest of it. Yes, okay. But two, the other problem with it is that you imagine the situation, and this is going to happen. It does happen. I know this happens because I've seen it happen, and having to explain it is a pain. You're standing there at the till. All right, you say, hey, I've got 465 points. I want to go pay for this. I want to go pay for this shopping with my points. You go and you give your card across to the cashier. The cashier goes and swipes it and says, sorry, you don't have enough points. Now you go and say, okay, that's wonderful. Why don't I have enough points? I thought I did. Now you have to get the cashier to explain this. And they're not going to have Excel. Heck with it. They might not even have a matric. It's just, it complicates things. It is there. I do know why it's there. It's generally your redemption, you would change your redemption method in order to try and keep people on higher levels of it's an incentive to go and spend more, to go not have to go get onto the lower levels. But it is used in some places. I don't recommend it's being used out here. unless the person really knows what they're doing and is driving and can have the loyalty properly explained to them. This is the problem. Well, it's not the problem with it. It is an option, but just be aware of it. You do need to be careful of it. All right. Do I have any questions about that? And were you guys actually able to follow my math? Okay, hands up who actually understood what was going on there. Oh, thanks, Willem. Willem, Peter, Taylor. Right. Ah, okay. All right. You guys have actually restored my faith in consultants. Thank you very much, guys. I'll put your hands down now. Okay. All right. So you get the idea. Please don't do it. It's not really worth it. I think I might even have. Let me just go check. If I have a moment, I'll go and I'll check. I think I might actually have some slides that go and try and explain it on the fallback method, which is also one of these things that is just, yeah, like I said, is really, really just madness. Okay. All right. So I'll see if I can find that later and we can have a look at that. All right, next thing up, refund method. Now the real question is, do you refund points? You've got all rewards, so if I buy something, so for instance, I could buy something with cash and be refunded points if I wanted to. Some people go say they do not refund points. Otherwise I can do on pro rata. If I do pro rata, it's if I bought something with points, I'll be refunded points. If I didn't buy anything, if I didn't buy it with points, I won't be refunded points. Finally, it's do not refund rewards, which is generally the one I see most people do. They don't want to refund points. They much rather give you store credit. To me, that makes more sense because store credit is easier to go manage. Points, the problem with points is that it can cause issues further down the line. As well, you can manage things like expiry dates with store credit. So you can go say, here's store credit, but it's only available for 90 days. Things like that are also quite important. Points expiry override, and how long do you have can you expire it for? Or can you override it even if it is expired? So if I have 1 million points and I arrive there and they expired in November, the 30th of November, I wasn't able to get there. For whatever reason, I didn't get the statement. I was away, I was off wherever, and I've been there for last couple of months, and I get back there and I say, is there nothing you can do to help me? I mean, I've got all these points. I'd like to spend them. Then the way the system can be set up is that it has a grace period of so many days where you can still spend your expired points. So you can set that up for, say, 30 days in this case. There is also beyond that a second grace period that you can allow where you can do a manager override. You beg and plead with the manager, please allow me my points. He can then go say, okay, I will override it. You can then go spend these points. Email and SMS notifications can be set up. Email, SMS service intervals, how often do you want that to be sent? I'm going to go back and show you a little bit on the email and SMSing side and how exactly we can set up and change those. You can have a look at that. Next one across that we can have a look at is exchange loyalty data between stores. Guys, once again, this is to go, and this is part of what I think I talked about with transaction server. Let me just go and bring this up over here, back up to my favorite slide. Okay, transaction server, like I said, it will go and try and replicate across information between stores. So for instance, your stock levels, it will replicate it across between stores. It also means that you do get slightly higher higher overhead on your bandwidth overall, but during peak times your bandwidth consumption is much less because it's not continually having to refer to the enterprise server every time it needs something. By the same token, one of the settings we can do here is exchange loyalty data between stores, which means that once again it will exchange loyalty data between stores. Works in much the same way. It updates the stores as what's happening as soon as possible. I love this one. Award points on loyalty tender. So I'm spending loyalty points and getting loyalty points for spending points. Yes, that is correct. I'm getting points, I'm spending points, and I'm getting points for spending points. the madness continues. So yeah, that is available. You can do that. Also, do not award loyalty points with redemption. That is something else you can set. And include tax and point awards, which I think is quite sneaky. Yeah, no, congratulations. Yes, you've actually paid your VAT with loyalty points, which is actually something you should also be aware of. Once again, check your local legislation to make sure that it does display correctly. Yes, next question. Okay, from Eric, maybe missed it. Let's say you do loyalty for a supermarket, but you're not listed to customers. How do you link multiple cards to a simple cash customer? Okay, Eric, that's with up here with your registration method. Your registration method would then be set to, instead of customer code, it's just set to loyalty card. That will actually be, yeah, we discussed that a bit earlier. That means that it's not linked to an actual cash customer. Well, it's not linked to an actual to a named customer in the system. It's just linked as a customer it's just linked to a cash customer. Your actual loyalty details will still be held in iVend. Okay, all right, cool. There we go. All right, include tax and view transaction receipt on customer website. We do actually have a loyalty website. We are going to have a look at it a bit later, provided it's up and running on my machine. And you can actually see, you can link through, people can go and have a look at their loyalty receipts, how much they've spent, when they spent, how they spent, all the rest of it. That is available. We will look at that there. Next thing up is points expiry setup. And guys, you can have multiple ways of expiring points over here. And there's a reason for this, is you might, depending on, say, your level, you might want to expire in a different way, or who your customer is, wholesale or retail or regional customers. You might want to go and expire the points in different ways. That's entirely up to you. You can set, first off, you set an expiry method. Is it sliding? So does it take, say, 365 days and then it expires? Or is it fixed? In which case it'll expire at the end of the year. Typically this expiry at the end of the year I saw with airline miles. That was the great one. You have to spend all your airline miles before August on a flight before then, or otherwise they expire. And we've got something like 10 million miles, and so we need to go somewhere, and you get people going off on random holidays at arbitrary times that are out of season just so they can spend their miles. That is the power of a loyalty program. As well as over here, your customer type, which sort of customers, and also which customer you select, which customer value, if there is a customer you've selected, what loyalty levels. So I might have this one at, say, bronze. I might have this one at, say, platinum. Bronze points, I'm going to say bronze points expire in, say, 90 days. Platinum points, or, well, silver points is 180. And let's go for, where's my platinum? Platinum points, I'm going to say expire in 720 days. You see, so I can increase and decrease the expiry points. The entire idea is that you want people to strive to get to platinum. It's that's the way half the healthcare out here runs, particularly with Discovery. They want you to strive to get to platinum. Get your loyalty up, and you get bigger discounts for these things. That's the way it is. And you can go add these things, and you can play around, and you can set them up exactly how you want. The final thing we can actually do here is referrals. Now, please be aware of this. Referrals means that, for instance, I refer Alex to here. When he signs up, he goes and says, "Oh, well, Keith referred me," and I get bonus points. So I might get 50 points for having signed up Alex. I get 50 points for registration. I also get another 100 points when he actually purchases something. Because remember, sometimes people just they'll just sign up a person for an account and then just leave, and then that person will never use the account. Dropbox had in fact normally has issues with this, because if you see you sign up with Dropbox, I think they give you 2.5 gigs of data initially. But then the further in you go, get another 500 megs by signing up 5 people. But then get, tell everybody on Facebook you've signed up for Dropbox. And this is the way. I know you can, if you do all the promotions, you get like 10 gigs for 2 years, which is actually not bad. But if you, in some cases, you sign up 10 people, Okay, all right, I've got 10 fake email addresses. I've signed up 10 people. Yep. You know, they each get an account, but they never use it. So that's the kind of stuff people get up to with loyalty programs. People always go for low-hanging fruit. The lower it's hanging, the easier it is to get. So also with this, I can also go and, you know, if Alex passes, say, 100 points, then I will get awarded maybe 100 points. You know, so you can almost set up a pyramid about how these go, and I do use the word pyramid quite intentionally. Please be aware, you could almost go set up, I think it's an Amway type setup. I know Amway is no longer called Amway. I think they called it Quickstar or something like that, because they got, eventually, they got tired of people just referring to them as a pyramid scheme. I have no strong feelings one way or the other, though I suspect they are. Maybe you guys have more experience with it, and you'll be able to tell me, no, of course it's not that. Just buy this Amway from me and I'll explain it to you. In which case, yes, no, well, fine. But that is something that can be set up from here, is referrals. So I refer people, and I can get more points by referring more people and getting them to buy more stuff. So this is also things that you need to be aware of, and how we can go get things set up in iVend. Okay, so that's there. Loyalty special days. Guys, there's not really that much to set up for a loyalty special day. Now, please be aware, this is not the customer special days. The customer special days are date of birth and anniversary date. These are very specific days that are set up per customer. And you'll see that when we go and we set up the rewards program for them, they're actually set up as date of birth and anniversary date, as special days per customer in the plan. Over here, this loyalty special day is I'm opening a new store. Okay. Or it's Black Friday, or it's Christmas, or it's Easter. Pick one. Valentine's Day. There you go. All right. Come in and earn loyalty points by buying for Valentine's Day. Just what you want. These are all the things that you go and you get set, that you can set here. You can set a specific date. So February 14th. Well, probably not 2017, that'd be wrong, but you can set it for that day, and then you can start going and ramping up and building things to go and trigger on the specific day. All right, from there we go across to our loyalty notifications. Now with the loyalty notifications, I'm also going to jump around a bit in here because I want to go show you things like the SMS functions and capability, as well as the emailing capability that goes with this. So first thing is you go and you set over here what you're actually notifying on. And it can be things as simple as new user creation. You can set your type of over here. There is actually a drop down, it's just grayed out. I'll show you what they are in a minute. So new user creation is one of them. What email or SMS template you set, which address you are sending it from, and which email name is it displaying. So this is just basically setting it up. What are you triggering on? The next one, but just to go show you, your different ones are, come on, I don't want edit, I want new. There we go. So customer creation, so many points away from next level, user cross into next level, the point statement, redeems points, points about to expire, or card transfer. We'll come to card transfer in a minute. What exactly it does, but it is something to go and actually notify people on. That is very important to go note over here. And with that, let me just show you the actual layouts that can go with it. So what you're actually sending out. The first thing that you do need to have set up is over here under administration, system initialization, communication settings. And you need to go, if you're doing an SMS gateway, you do need to go and have that set up over here. And you can then go get that to, you can go connect through to our different SMS gateways that we have. Clickatel, ClickSend, Message Media, Nexmo, SMS Country, SMS Global. Nexmo is the one we generally recommend because it's actually their APIs are better, we find, than the other guys. Having said that, they are pretty much of a muchness with regards to price-wise. It's just Nexmo happens to be the one that we find we can use best. So with that, you enable SMS there, you go and you select, say, Nexmo, you put that in. There is some configuration that needs to take place. There's an API key, an API secret, long number, short code, and a secure URL that needs to be set here. Once you've set that, then it will activate. As well, here is the SMTP details. If you are using Gmail, I'm going to warn you now, there is a setting in Gmail you need to activate. It's called Less Secure Apps if you're doing it for iVend. Normally, you go and you control your own email server and you can control exactly what gets sent out and you won't need to go through Gmail. But I know for demo purposes, a lot of you guys have got Gmail accounts. I also know that some companies are not very, they don't want to go and use their, they get a bit stingy and a bit tight with going and using their Exchange servers. So you can use Gmail. If you do want to know more about the settings, contact me. I will get back and I will give them to you and we can go and get, I can help you go get that set up. All right, so that's where you set up your SMTP and SMS settings. Once you've done that, you come over here to application setup. You come here to your email and SMS templates, and there are some that are already created in the system. So new user creation, for instance, this one's already here. You'll see you've got your entire setup. You can then go and adjust it, change it to exactly how you want it. They have actually improved it slightly in one or two of the later versions. You see over here this this percent, full name percent. Those are your wildcards. If you right-click on here, you will see your different wildcards that are available. You can go select which ones you want and how you want to go set them in. It's pretty straightforward. You can save this and then reload it on different ones. You can put in Word documents. You can even embed YouTube videos onto here. So you've got a pretty feature-rich email editor you can go send out. At the same time, you also have options to go and edit it in HTML if you're that way inclined. I know some guys, they like to get their hands dirty and go say, okay, all right, this is exactly how I want it to display. You put that in and you also get your preview mode to just see exactly how everything looks. Same thing over here with your SMSs, except this is much simpler because it's just it's an SMS, guys. I mean, really, you can't go too overboard. Same thing, right click to bring up your list of wildcards, and you do need to go remember that if you are doing both of them, you do need to tick it as enable SMS, enable email and enable SMS communication or notification. Otherwise, it will not work. Same thing over here, email subject, preferably put something in there that's quite nice and friendly and recognizable. Oh, by the way, we do actually have a spell check in here, so no excuses for bad spelling, guys. Okay, but please remember there are a batch of these over here, point statement, points awards redeemed, you know, all of these ones are available, and you can go adjust them and modify them to your heart's content. Okay, cancel and cancel, there we go. All right, but back to the loyalty side over here. Oh, there's still no questions. Okay, all right, no questions. Because now we get to dive into the fascinating side of the loyalty plan. Okay, and the loyalty plan, this is how you go and you set, how you go and you award points. Now, I'm going to tell you one of the stories I've been threatening to go bore you with up until now. It involves a promotion they were having, I believe it was on Alaskan Airlines. There's actually a couple of YouTube videos on this stuff. I think there's one on a site called Today I Found Out, where the guy actually goes through exactly what happened. It's pretty interesting. If you're interested, I will try and find it and send you guys the link. Essentially what happened, Alaskan Airlines had a promotion on, buy any one of these items and you can go and get, scan the barcode, send it to us, or there's a special number inside, scan it, send it to us, and we will give you, we'll give you, I think it's 10 air miles or something like that. And one of these guys who was obviously bored, this was back in the days of the in-flight magazines, I think it was in the 70s or 80s, and the guy was reading it and thought, oh, okay, looked through the various items and realized that some of the items that you could get points for were actually much, the sort of points that you'd earn from, the points that you'd earn from buying the item would actually cost much less than the cost of the item itself. So it's for instance, being told, hey, get 10 air miles every uh, every fortune cookie you buy. You know, something ridiculous. It turned out to be ridiculously cheap to buy. You know, a couple of cents, and you'd be getting air miles worth $1.50. So what he did is he took his life savings. Well, I don't quite know if it was his entire life savings, but I certainly know it was about $10,000 or $15,000. And he spent them all on the cheapest item he could buy there. I think it was a small knick-knack, about 10 cents for this specific item. And he went and he bought warehouses of the stuff. And he was able to do it. And they almost needed to get a warehouse to go and actually get it. And him and his friends and family, they went and they set up a unwrapping line where they'd unwrap it. They get the logo. They get the they get the little token, send it off, and redeem the points. And even with postage and shipping, well, and the part of it is that they didn't even need to pay postage and shipping because the redemption form was prepaid. So they went and they sent all this stuff off. And the guy ended up earning, I think it was about 4 or 5 million air miles, right, for you know, a couple of $1,000. And because of the air mile program that Alaskan Airlines was with, you could take those air miles and you could redeem them as nights in a hotel, airline seats. You could fly anywhere. And this guy basically spent the rest of the time just going and flying around and living in whichever hotel he wanted. And there was no way he could actually, there was no way they could actually go get their points back because he'd actually found a loophole in the system. And please be aware, guys, when you are setting up loyalty plans, that to go and be aware that you could be setting up loopholes in the system. It's something that I've pointed out with the promotions and the discounts. You can end up with discounts and promotions where you end up giving away the house. And I've also pointed out with the coupons as well, you can end up where you're actually giving away money to people. So loyalty is another situation where this does happen. And there are demonstrable examples. I'll save, in a minute, I'll talk to you about the one about the Harrier jump jet. First thing over here with the loyalty plan, which program it lists to, which code, and what's the description. You can also set, over here is where you set your plan type. And you'll see there's 3 different types, or, well, 2 types and 2 versions of 1 type. So you've got your normal plan, your normal basic plan. This is the plan. Every loyalty program will have at least 1 normal plan. That's how you earn your points. Dead straightforward. Next one up is special days. And this special days over here relates specifically to the special days setup that I said over here. So this would be the special days opening of a store. Or a Valentine's Day or Black Friday, Christmas Day, something like that. Special day. It's a day that you can actually specify the date on. Then you get special days for customers. And this specifically looks at your customer special days being your anniversary date and your date of birth. So your birthday and anniversary date, those are the 2 that it selects and remembers in the actual system itself. And that's the special days for customers. Start date, start time. As you can see, you just need to have a start date. You can also have an end date and end time if that's the case. Sometimes these loyalty plans do actually end, change, get updated, renewed, whatever the case is, you can put that in over here. And is it active or not? I mean, I don't think I really need to go and explain that to you too much. Let's go and actually, then from here we can actually get to the plan details. And please remember you can have multiple rows over here. So you can really, and this is where you can really start to go to town. So the first one is exclude, which I'm actually going to come back to a bit later to explain it when I come back to the exception rules and special days setup. Next one up is must award, which means that it will actually award part points for the setup, which we'll see at the end over here. Just to give you an idea, the calculation value is I spend $100 and I get 10 points. If it's a must award, then I will even award part points, so parts of $100 that I have gone and spent. So if I spent, say, $38, then it will also give me points for the equivalent amount of points. Please remember, points aren't decimalized like currency is. So if you do want to end up giving people like 50 cents, then you have to give them currency. You can't give them 0.5 of a point. It's not the way points work. Points are whole numbers. So next thing up, do I determine by customer type, customer groups or codes? So specific customer, so for instance, my retail customers, my walk-in customers, they get one amount. My other customers might get something different. Which level do I put this at? Is it bronze, silver, gold, platinum? Next thing up is the bill value. So, and what this one is the criteria group. And over here for my top one, I've selected bill value. For the next ones, I can go say, buy this item and get points, or buy something from this item group and get points, or get this promotion and get extra points, and get this item on layaway, get points. If you're like I've got over here for bill value, spend more than $100, get these points. Over here, bill quantity, where if I go and I spend more than 10, buy more than 10 items, then I get points. So you can go to town exactly how these things map together. But the top one over here is the one I'll be using, which is my bill value. So for every bill, so for every transaction, or for every 10th, I can also set this to I want it for every 10th transaction, or greater, do I need to do 10 transactions and then this kicks in? So I can go set that over here. I can then, and I'm just going to move that over there so we can fit everything in. I can then go say what my criteria is. Well, for, no, we've done criteria, we've done transaction value, transaction criteria, transaction count. So for every one transaction, or for every 10 transactions, or every 10th equal transaction, I will do it. So what is your calculation basis? Is it amount or quantity? So how much you bought, or how much you bought, or what your or how much you spent. What is the calculation on every transaction, every 10th transaction, or greater than equal to that transaction? Is it for a specific tender type? So if for instance, I go and I end up spending, say, cash, am I going to get more points than if I spend, say, credit card? And then what do I award? Do I award points, or do I award currency at the end of the day? So yeah, that's something else that I can set over there. So you see, I can get pretty complex over here. Guys, when you are setting up your loyalty plan for the first time round, I'm going to say exactly the same thing that I said to you guys yesterday for promotions. Please set up a very general loyalty plan. Normally when I run these training plans in person, I see people who go set up these specific loyalty plans where you can only earn this half a percentage point of a point last week Tuesday at 1 o'clock in the morning for 5 seconds if you did the transaction then. And then they wonder why it doesn't work. Guys, don't do that, please. Right? Seriously. Or because you have the options there. I know what some consultants are like. They want to go and say, oh, I must turn on every single option, and then nothing works, and they wonder why. Please don't do that. Just set up a very general one. Once again, this is part of the reason I recommend having Demo Stack installed, is it will actually direct you as to where and how to go and set up a very basic plan that you can start playing with. Once you've got the basics, once you understand, once people understand how the basics work and how it's done, great. Then you can go and set up that one so that it will be available on Tuesday at 5:30 in the morning for 5 seconds. Perfect. But let's just first set up one that's just a fairly basic one, and then you can go and get it. You can get it set up properly. Now, just to go back to the exclude checkbox over here, and the entire idea by the exclude checkbox is that it basically turns this line to the opposite of what it says. So if you want to give points to except for this setup, then you can do that as well. So that's what the exclude line is. As well as with that, you can also go set up exception rules. So exclude items on promotion. So items on promotion do not get points. Items with discount override don't get points. Items with a discount greater than a certain percentage, or price override greater than a certain percentage, and then also exclude items on layaway. You can do that as well. Once again, it's the case of don't quadruple and double and set up the whole thing so that you go and you are eventually giving away everything. That's also something else that you need to be very aware of over here, because you can go and end, once again, you can go end up in a situation where you can be giving away points for you can be giving away points that are worth more, and the prizes may be worth more than what you expect. And for that, I've got the Harrier story, which is from actually it was run in America. Once again, they do seem to love going and running these loyalty programs where you get these weird and fun, and fantastic and funky things. Where this guy went, they were running, it was Pepsi. You can actually have a look. It's I think it's Pepsi New Generation, they were calling it. Once again, there's a video on it on YouTube. So yeah, there you go, guys. You've now got you can go, if your boss catches you watching the video, you can go say, no, it's a valid thing. It's research for loyalty. So you can go watch it. It's once again, today I found out, I think it's called. They also did a thing on this where where Pepsi advertised that you could buy, that you could go and get 1 million points, or I think it was 100 million points, and they would give you a Harrier jump jet. They advertised this on TV, and there were a batch of other prizes, you know, get Nike shoes, boombox. This is back in the 90s where they were going and giving away some ridiculous stuff. But anyway, the final grand prize that they went and they said, and because they put it up there, and they thought nobody was ever going to do this, is, hey, get 100 million points, and we will go and it meant to be a joke prize, and you get a Harrier jump jet. And once again, some smart guy went and actually got down, did the math, and realized that actually, at the time, Pepsi would allow you to buy points. So, you know, you send off a thing to, you send them a check, and they will go and buy, and you can buy so many points. I think it was a couple $100. It was a couple of cents a point or something like that. And so a guy got together, worked out the price of the jet fighter. Yeah, Harrier jump jet fighter. That's what the prize was. Worked it out, and actually went and sent off a check and said, I want to buy this many points, and I'd like to redeem them for a Harrier jump jet. Yeah. Needless to say, he didn't end up with a Harrier jump jet, though actually Pepsi did actually look at just it got to the point where they were looking at the legal fees, and doesn't that just say something, where the legal fees, where they actually looked at this and they said, will the legal fees cost more than us buying a Harrier jump jet? So, right, that's what they did. I think eventually they settled out of court or something like that. The judge went and ruled that it was clearly facetious. And anyway, but these are the kind of problems you can get into with loyalty programs, guys. So yeah, this is why you need somebody to manage it and actually go and sit down and actually do the figures, and not let some of the marketing guys just go say, yeah, no, we'll give them a Harrier jump jet, you know, the aircraft carrier. You know, just throw one of those in. Yeah. You know, because next thing, all of a sudden, you will, some people are going to, that's going to be the next thing, is people are actually going to go say, hang on, guys, you know, you've made a miscalculation on this, so be aware. Okay, and that explains the loyalty plan over here. Final thing is the applicable button, which shows which days of the week it's applicable to, as well as which stores it's applicable to. So you can have it applicable for only some stores, just not for others. That's also something you can set up over here. When you saw the promotions and the bonus buys yesterday, yeah, this will look very familiar to you. Okay, so that's the loyalty plan and the loyalty setup. Are you guys still awake over there? I'm not getting very many questions at the moment. Right there. Are there reports to run? Okay, all right. Thanks, Willem. Okay, yes, there are reports and dashboards that are associated with this. There's an entire loyalty section under the reports, inactive member details, customer journals, top items for loyalty, loyalty point aging. There's also dashboards. The one that, if you're doing the demo and you've got the demo stack loaded up, the one that the guys love going and doing demos. Okay, right. So some hands were raised. Thanks, guys. Nice to know. Thanks, Bernadine. Right? It's nice to know that some people are still listening to my random stories. If you are doing a demo, guys, the Loyalty Finance View on Demo Stack. If it's not on Demo Stack, then it's a bit empty. But on the Demo Stack, it's nice and colorful and bright and shiny. So the salespeople like it, so they can go and have a look at it and see exactly what it does. And yeah, it's very colorful. So that's a quite nice one to run. Okay, the next thing up that we're not quite finished with loyalty yet is the next things that we just want to have a look at is membership groups. Now, the idea with membership groups is that, for instance, out here in South Africa, we have the My School card. Guys, if you're familiar with My School, this is basically a membership group. It means that you're earning points for a school. Then at the end of the month or year or whatever it is, they go and they give a donation through to the actual school itself. This is essentially what would be set up over here. You can go set up which loyalty program, code description goes with it, how many points are in it, and how many expired points or redeemed points are there. You can then also add in different loyalty customers to the whole thing, and you should actually have I should have selected a loyalty program over there. Then we can start adding in loyalty customers to go and yeah, so that you've got those over there and you can see who belongs to which membership group, and obviously it needs to be run by somebody. It also is very handy if you've got, say, a company buying policy, then you can also go use that for getting company points. Beyond that, a loyalty card. Now earlier I mentioned in the loyalty program setup that you can have a registration method, customer code, as well as I think it's loyalty card. If you've got your loyalty card set up over here, then it will go and load up all of your loyalty customers. Over here, there's, yeah, there you go, Keith.Morrison. That's a bit better. That goes and that's set up over here. You can then go and just have the loyalty customer information that's set here. Oh, I see that Eric's ducked off. So yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. But anyway, because this is pretty much what they would go set up over here to go and get. This is just for loyalty customers. These are not integrated back through to your debtors, your actual customers in the system. Okay, and like I said, it's also handy if you don't want to clog up your ERP. Sage guys, I do know that your ERP also has got the additional option of going and setting exactly how they want that set up. That's something that you might want to have a look at a bit further down the line. Now, the next one up is something that will be very handy and does happen time and again, and this is what happens if somebody missed out on their loyalty points, or there's a problem with them, or they need more loyalty points, less loyalty points, whatever the case might be. We can now go and adjust the loyalty points for the customers. So let me go over here. Mr. Edward Robinson, I happen to like you. He's got no points at the moment. I'm now going to go and adjust his points. I'm going to give him 1,000 points. So, right, that will then go, if I'm doing manual level changes, this is where I change the level. I've got mine set to automatic, so it will automatically go jump him up to the next level. In fact, we can even go have a look over here. It says that, oh, there's no points available at the moment. Yeah, no available points. I might have had a lot of points, but I've now got no more points. Right there, I am completely pointless. So I'm going to give him, I'm going to give this customer 1,000 points, and click OK. Watch the little blue little circle go round and round, and then it posts the journal. And then if I come over here and we go to customer view and we go scroll down, you'll see that I now have 1,000 points. Yay! Crowd goes wild. Oh, and we have a question. Ooh. Is there approval process on adjustment journals? At the moment, no. Right. It's limited. Once again, it is limited to a certain person. And you could go put extensibility on it if you wanted to go put additional approvals on there. I think they actually might have put one in on a later version of the program. At least on the version I'm dealing with doesn't have it. One other thing I do want to point out is you can do an import file. And here we go. And there we go. I've got my passbook updated. So how about that? So that came through. I got my pass. I got all the rest of it, and I can now go choose to add that to my, in fact, I should actually go and add that across to my phone. So once again, that's an additional advantage of having the demo stack is you can integrate it through to the iVend, passes, and it just makes it look nice and shiny and all the rest of it. So yes, import file is available that you can do a text and a mass update over here. If you did want to go take away points from somebody, which you can, let me go show over here. I'm going to go and select, let's do Edward because I know he's got points. If you want to take away points, it's minus. So you put a minus in front and then it will go and it will adjust it. So I'm going to put -10. I click OK. That will then go through and adjust his points -10 down. Right. And I'll probably get another email in a second going and saying that I've had my points adjusted. So that is available over there. That's quite important. And that negative to go change it up and down is quite important as well. Once again, you can put in notes and as well do things like making fields mandatory. So, all right, Jean-Paul asks, okay, okay, right there. So why are the available points increased while the available currency is not automatically changed as well? Please remember, I choose what I award. Okay, that's part of the loyalty program. At the moment, I've set mine to points. I can award both points and currency. I wouldn't recommend it. But it's not like I can change points for currency. Well, I can technically do that over here in the adjustment journal, guys, but please remember the entire idea, there we go, it's now sent through the updated pass. Please remember, guys, the entire idea about this is not that it goes and is not to go and use them interchangeably. Right? You either do points or you do currency. That's my recommendation. Unless you want people to get very, very confused because we don't do points, well, while we do points and currency, people are going to get very confused as to why there's points and currency and there's might be issues with that. So that's something else that you want to go and just be very careful of when you are setting this up. While the points do have a monetary value, and that is actually, I think if I remember correctly, that is actually journaled across to the ERP. So there will actually be a suspense account holding a percentage of the value of the loyalty points, so that if somebody does come and redeem a whole huge batch, it's not a big surprise. The big thing to note is that it's one or the, preferably one or the other, guys. Just don't try and mix them up. If you mix them up, people get confused. And the example I always give is, imagine you're a poor old cashier who's sitting there, you've worked, you've just got this new system, and now all of a sudden somebody's coming in and yelling at you while all of a sudden their 1,000 points are worth nothing. Or why you've got currency points but not why you've got loyalty currency but not loyalty points. So, you know, that's the kind of thing. Please, yeah, feel for the little cashier who has to do this, you know, right? Poor little old woman trying to go support nieces and nephews and all the rest of it, you know. Just please be aware that, you know, we do have to go, the idea of this, I do know that sometimes it's fun to make things complicated, but the entire idea of this is to actually try and simplify things, not make them complicated. Next one up I have is a transaction that is very misunderstood by a lot of people, and there's a very good reason for this, is, well, there's a reason for this, and it's called the loyalty card transfer. Now, the reason we have this in here is if your card gets stolen. Okay, my loyalty card gets stolen. Somebody ran off with my wallet. I wasn't using iVend passes, and my loyalty card's now been stolen, and that guy can essentially go and start spending my loyalty points, you know. Hey, because remember, it's much easier to spend loyalty points than it is to actually go and spend, say, your credit card, at least in a lot of places. So with this over here, I can then go and transfer the loyalty points from the old credit card. I can call a hotline number, say I need to transfer my points from this old card, from my old card to my new card, and what this will do is it will automatically close the previous card, the old card, and then it will go and transfer it to a new card. So that's what this loyalty card transfer does here. And when I say it closes the old card, I mean it completely writes it off. It's that card, if it selects that card, it will not actually allow that card to be used. It will recognize that the card's there, but it will just go say, nope. Okay, this card is no longer valid. So that is something else to go consider over here. This is quite important to note as well. Okay, but please remember it does, and it automatically closes the old card. It's not like there's a little secret checkbox. I press Control Z F1 or whatever it is over here, and it activates something that you can then check it, and it allows you to not close the card. It will automatically close the card. It does that. There's nothing you can do about it. That's how it works. Okay. Finally, pre-printed loyalty cards. This is to go manage pre-printed loyalty cards in the system. I can have that loaded up here. I have a question. Is this similar to, from Tupile, is this similar to SIM card replacement which retains the data which was loaded on it? I presume you're talking about for the loyalty card transfer. Effectively, yes. But the thing is that the only data you've really got loaded on your loyalty card is your loyalty card number. That's it. It's not a case of you've got like SMSs or contact details or anything else loaded on the SIM card. With the loyalty card, it's just a loyalty card number. All the rest of the loyalty information is just loaded in to the all the rest of the loyalty information is loaded onto the system already. There's nothing there's nothing else really on the loyalty card itself. It's just essentially it's more a loyalty card. Well, it's transferring loyalty card information from the old account to the new account. That's it. Pre-printed loyalty card. This allows me to go and add in loyalty cards. I can do an automatic creation of a certain string type. So I can go say the string is Y, no operation with it, and then I can go say that it's started 0001, operation increase. I click OK. And invalid generation number. Okay, right there, I need to go say how much I'm actually generating. But there you go, quantity, let's do 100. So automatic creation, and then I could go put the string. And there we go, it'll automatically generate the loyalty card codes. That's much the same way that, except for these two, which I put in manually up top. This is much the same way it works for the serial number generation. So the automatic creation there works along similar lines. Okay, so now that I've got this all in, this is the main side about how my loyalty things work in iVend. But I am now going to just take a slightly more in-depth look at the reports, because remember, these are actually quite important as well. I can do things like having my, let's go have a look over here. Oh, hang on, that. I can go see for my different loyalty programs. Why is it not bringing up that loyalty program? Okay, right there, it wants to go and pick up that, but for some reason it's not picking up my one that I've got. Okay, all right, so this might be a demo stack issue that it's bringing up. Member transactions per week, and if that's the case, yeah, so it looks like I've got a small issue with my demo stack that's loaded up here with my loyalty programs, but there are these reports in here that you can use. At the same time, please remember there are the dashboards you can use over here. There's things like your loyalty overview. You can go see exactly what's been sold, when, where, and how. Your member count, how many you've got, how little you've got, all the rest of it. You can also go and have a look at your different plan performances, how they're performing in each different place. I've only got one plan, so it's relatively straightforward. Please remember these are drill downs over here, so I can go see exactly how they're going. They drill down in each individual case there. I can also go and have a look at my, if I want to have a look at member segmentations, I can also do that. Just thinking hard. Okay, here we go. So now that's just going and updating. And yes, very difficult for it to go come up with this one. So yeah, probably because I don't have enough data in to actually run it. But there are these reports in here. There are these dashboards. They do work. I'm just on a slightly lower version over here to get my loyalty to work, but that's besides the point. These are all available. The other thing to consider with loyalty is there is also your, and I just want to go and reload this. Here we go. There's my iVend customer portal, and let's try logging in as that. It's probably going to bounce me on this one. There we go. So it's brought me in as Edward. I can go see my redeemed points, my points I've sold. If I have actually redeemed any, I'll be able to see them all over here. I can see my loyalty transaction details. So actually, let's just do a quick transaction over here and actually buy something and see what happens. Okay. Oh, and guys, one thing I do need to point out about products is, where is it? Inventory, product, search. There is actually something you do need to note on the product itself. And yeah, you see I've got some slightly different pictures here. Is loyalty points redeemable? So whether I can redeem this for loyalty points, that is something that you do need to go and just have in mind, particularly if they are going to go and redeem it for loyalty points for whatever reason. So I think I'm going to need to buy 2 or 3 of these. So let's do that. And I'm just going to do cash. And that's now gone through. And now you see over here what it's done is saving transaction, printing transaction, and it's issued and updated the pass that was associated with this. So I should actually be getting another email fairly shortly with the actual passbook information on it. Actually, and that is something that while we're waiting for this to update, we can have a look. Guys, if you come over here to pass.ivend.com, there you go, pass.ivend.com, you can set up a demo account that's associated with it. These passes over here, I think it's valid for 30 days. We can even extend it if you want to for demos. You can actually go log in and you can have a look and design your own passes. So for instance, here's a store card, which templates, gift certificates, stuff like that. That's all the bits and pieces I got. You can then go and you can also change it and manage it. It's not really something I was going to go and have a look at today too much, but it is here, and there is my iVend pass that's just been updated. So, right, I've now earned some additional points. Okay, so let's go across and let's go just back across here. I'm just going to go and reload. And yeah, so that's still taking its time to go and update with the different ones there. But I've got my available points, I've got my awarded points, redeemed points, expired points. I can see them all over here. I can upload pictures if I want, so I can make it look all nice and pretty. I can also put in add new cards. I can invite friends. I can send invitations. I can update my contact details. And this is quite nice for this customer portal, is you can get the people to update their contact details. Because and this does synchronize back into iVend itself. And that's very, very nice to have, because I can tell you the number of times I've seen people trying to go and fill out my details, and it's horribly, horribly, horribly wrong. So, but this is something that you can get people to go fill out by themselves over here. Makes it very easy, and they can take ownership of it, change passwords, and log out. So I've got all of these available over here. I can go and adjust it whichever way I want, and I can have this all set up nicely. All right, and that's the report view. We can have a look at that another time. So that basically covers my side on the customer loyalty and the loyalty portal. Are there any particular questions about it, guys, that you have? I think that's, once again, we're going to be ending slightly earlier today. So, right, now that we're on top of these things. All right. Yes, Willem? Okay. Are there any other questions, guys? What is the customer ID for DemoStack? You should have gotten that in the email that got sent to you, Willem, but it should be DemoStack like that, all in caps. All right, DemoStack in caps. That is the customer ID for the DemoStack. If you don't, actually, it should automatically go and put that in for you. So you shouldn't actually really need to worry about that. Please make sure you do have the latest version of DemoStack. That should be one that you can go and have updated and ready. All right. Okay, guys, if there are no other questions, I am going to go and just, I'm going to go call it and say thank you very much for joining me once again to listen to me carry on about this. Please remember, I hope you do go and join us tomorrow for more of this exciting, stuff as we go through this. Yeah, and if you do have any other questions, please let me know, and I will help out. Oh, Kirsty, loyalty is installed with the MC install. If loyalty paying for, how does the licensing work? Okay, Kirsty, it's a separate license that you get for. It's a separate license that you actually get that that activates. It basically deactivates everything else and only activates your loyalty section. So that's something else to go and to consider. Okay, cool, no problem. All right, are there any other questions? All good. Okay, all right, I'll take that there. All good. Okay, thanks guys. Thank you for joining me. Hope you have a good day. It's Tuesday, so at least it's not Monday. All right, and that brings us one day closer to us writing the exam. Have fun, guys, and I'll chat to you soon. And if you've got any implementations, well, I hope they go well. Cheers. Bye.